Alrighty, it is the final week before a shop update, and I actually don't have that much left to do, which feels very nice. I wrote out everything I have left to do that I could think of. I'm sure I forgot something, but this is very manageable for 1 week. Very, very manageable. And so this feels nice. This is so different. Usually I'm scrambling, so it feels good. So first I just wrote out everything I have to get done, and then I assigned those tasks to different days over here on my weekly planner. Today's Sunday, by the way, April 2nd. So this is starting as of tomorrow. And if I think of more things to do, or I just don't get all this done in these 2 days, I have Wednesday and Thursday, and technically Friday to do more stuff. Even Saturday, like there's so much open space here. I've got more than enough time to get everything ready for Sunday, which is when the shop is opening. So yeah, I'm feeling pretty good about that. Yesterday, I just had the insane urge to do some oil painting, and so I started a really small painting, and I think I'm gonna work on it more today, but I'll show you what I have so far. So as always, I had no idea what I wanted to do, but I just grabbed a small square of wood, and I gessoed it, although I realized after my first coat that the wood was kind of hairy, and I should have sanded the wood first. So after the first coat of gesso, I sanded it, gessoed again, sanded it again, and then I did a base color in acrylic just because it would dry nice and fast. And it was a little too vibrant. It wasn't quite what I wanted, a little too purpley, but I thought, whatever, it's just the undercoat anyway. It's just there in case, you can kind of see through the oil or something like that. So it was close enough. And I decided to just draw a bunny. I was just hopping into it without any planning. Oil painting is the one thing I always plan to the nines because it's just easier that way, especially when you're working with paint that takes several days to dry. It's nice to know what you're doing so you can put down your paint intentionally and not just fiddle back and forth with areas too much. But with this one, I just jumped right in and just got painting. And so, yeah, it's just a bunny. It's kind of inspired by my little Peter Rabbit figure I got recently. The mom is wearing a blue dress, and I was like, that blue would look cute because I wanted the background to be kind of dusty pinky, and so I was like, ooh, the blue would look cute with that. And yeah, it's pretty simple. It's a small piece of wood, but it was kind of fun just jumping in and going at it with very minimal planning, even though it was scary at the same time. Also, I had my dual camera setup going, so I had the top-down view and the side view, but the paint is so shiny that the top-down view is just pure glare, so the footage is mostly side view because it just didn't look good from above. I want to add some plants and floral elements to this, and I want to do it while the paint is still wet because I'm having real fun with the wet on wet for this painting, and so that's why I want to work on it today before the paint dries. Oh, little Kiki, she's always down here in her bed when I come down. I don't know if it's just a nice quiet spot for her in the morning or if she's waiting for me. She always beats me down here. It's overcast out today, which is actually nice because it's better for filming. When there's a lot of direct sunlight, it's horrible. At least in the wintertime, because the sun is like coming from that direction in the wintertime, so it's extra blinding. I thought I would paint with Gamsol. I made a little jar of it, and then I haven't touched it at all. Because usually I don't use Gamsol when painting. I just use the safflower oil. But I was like, maybe I'll like the texture, I don't know. And then I just kind of forgot about it and never touched it. Oh, wait, did that leak? Why is my hand wet? Maybe this is not a good jar for this. So, my dirty paintbrushes from yesterday are still dirty. Because why clean them? They're still wet. The beauty of oil paint. And this is down here because I didn't want Kiki stepping on it. But yeah, how I mentioned the glare was real bad. It's because I have the painting flat. Usually I have it raised up on an easel at an incline. But when it's flat, it's real bad glare for filming. But also kind of for me. Like there are times I have to stand up and look at it from a different angle because it can kind of get bad at times. when it's flat. So I think even for small ones, I need them propped up. Oh, it's kind of nice filming when it's flat. Because you can get the top-down view, but then the top-down view is garbage, so it's like, okay, well, never mind. But even, like, the side view has to be set up differently when I'm painting. It has to be a separate tripod or something, or, like, I could clamp my boom here and have it swung out looking over, but it's, like, a whole different filming setup. So I've kind of been enjoying having it flat, but it would drive me nuts for something bigger that I spend more time on. Flat is also dangerous because there are little critters in this house that like to step on my stuff. Ah! No! Don't even think about it.
What he's putting in there. So the only plausible
I already gave you your pets.
So
well, some people claim they did, right?
So again, just winging this, not planning out how the plants are gonna look. I just started doodling some basic green leafy stems, adding a bit of blue in there. And then I thought I wanted a plant, like it wasn't any plant in particular, but you know how there are some plants where the flower is actually a cluster of really small flowers? I wanted it to look like that, kind of like lavender or something. And so that's what I was doing, and it was turning out horribly. The shapes were weird, and in front of the bunny's face, it was just too close. It was just too large of a thing right in front of the bunny's face. I was like, this looks so stupid. And so I wiped it all off and just applied a bit more color to the background to start over. And I thought, you know what, let's just do more of the green leafies. We'll just go from there. But I didn't know what to do for like the top corner. I didn't want it to be plain, and I didn't want one leafy bit to be just really long to go up and cover the corner. So I added one that's kind of coming from behind the bunny's head, but it almost looks like a not a flower, a plant antler, So I tried to blend it into the background a bit at the bottom, just fade out the colors so it's, you know, fading into the background a little bit, but it still looks a little silly. But I try not to get too worked up about it because this is supposed to be kind of like a sketch, an oil painting sketch. It's essentially one layer, even though I worked on it over 2 days. The first layer was still wet. This is wet on wet all the way through, which I pretty much never do. And so I was trying to just, you know, have fun with it and just wing it. And don't worry if it doesn't look that great, because it's just something simple for fun on a little piece of wood. And I really need to do more stuff like this. I need to get more of these small pieces of wood, like the cheap flat ones. I need more of those. I've got some bigger ones, but I need more smaller ones for when I want to jump in and just do a little thing. Or let's say I want to practice like a close-up of a leaf. I can do just a close-up of a leaf. And I can do that stuff in my sketchbook too, but then I have to leave it open to dry for several days, and it's kind of a pain in the booty. So doing it on the wood is nice. So yeah, I'm happy that I jumped in and did it. I just had the itch to do some oil, and I did it. Oh, and this flower took me forever because one of the blues I added was way too oily, and so it was thinning the paint. And then I couldn't build up the colors I wanted to. Like, it's really hard to do wet on wet if your base layer is really oily. So I had to eventually wipe off the paint with a Q-tip and just redo the flower because I was fighting with it for so long. But there's your little close-up look at my little bunny oil painting. Quick painting. I can't really call it a sketch. Quick painting. Yeah. Okay, I've done a sweater swap because my painting sweater officially has paint on it now as of yesterday. So I don't want to be smearing that all over the house. And I don't know what I'm doing next. I was just at the computer handling emails and some banking stuff, accounting stuff for like the last hour. And now I don't know what to do. It's a Sunday and I'm sick. I don't want to do too much. Although, honestly, this cold's not that bad. It's not like I'm incapacitated. Although, by the evenings, I'm usually just like, I like that I've been doing just fun little doodles lately, but it's still not scratching my itch of doing another full illustration. So I'm trying to, like, brainstorm. Because I would maybe have time to complete one before the shop update. Maybe. Depends what medium. You know, maybe I'll build these. I was going to do that in a previous vlog, but they weren't delivered till late at night, and so they never made it into the vlog. But it's shoe racks, and I'm going to stack them, and then anything that's in these non-stackable bins, can be put on that shelf. And it will go over here behind here. Ugh. I think these edges are glued down. There's literally the word glue written on the flap. We'll just try to slide it out then. Why you gotta use hexes? I don't have a hex attachment for my drill. Don't make me screw this by hand. Ugh. The instruction sheet just shows the whole thing being assembled all at once. No steps, but it's pretty straightforward. That seems way too loose. But that's also too loose for the screw. And the big dowels are the joining dowels. Okay, well, sure. Take these other dowels off. Ta-da! Those dowels are so loose. This is gonna come right off. But that's okay, it's just gonna sit in one spot. Ooh, look at that. It fits so nicely. Ooh. I've cleaned up my mess and now I'm gonna go cook some food. And it's ready. There's bacon on the burgers because we were accidentally sent bacon for a different meal. And so there's bacon on the pork patties. Look at that feta down there though. Delish. Need a piece of silicone for this thing. It's like, gummy. Oh, I must accidentally touch the screen there. I don't know what I'm gonna draw. I'm just gonna draw something. And I'm gonna make Christian watch Titanic later. What are you quacking about over here?
Winnipeg's worked hard, but it has been a rotten night for them. They've turned the puck over, they've been out of work, and they're not getting any saves. They gain the zone. And that's a smart heads-up play by Huberdeau.
He can make firm, crisp passes to assist his teammates.
The play stays with it. Takes a shot. Join us for period number 3. Left on the third, and if you love offense, well, stick around for this one. Great.
Those colors! Titanic plagiarized me. So here's how far I got in the painting. I stopped when we started watching Titanic because I wanted to actually focus and pay attention to the movie, even though I've seen it less than 2 months ago. I just saw it in theaters, but whatever. So now I'm thinking it'd be nice to finish that artwork today so it can go in this vlog, since this is a Wednesday vlog. But today's product photography day, you know, I wrote out my whole weekly planner, and today's the first day of said week, and I'm already completely moving things around. Or maybe I'm just procrastinating product photography day because I don't like it. Maybe it's a bit of both reasons. You know, I do just want to work on that art some more. So. Here's my brunch. I don't have any toast, so I was trying to cook the yolks mostly through. Okay, we're good, we're good. And an espresso. Ma'am. Anyway, I was thinking of setting up shop in here for drawing. Just bring down that little table I was using upstairs and sit here. And look, then I can glance up at the original inspo location. Whoa. Because it was a photo of Midna. That was the inspo for the Ort. Yeah, not you, Kiki. Even though it looks like a black cat, it's not you. No, it's not.
Was born October 12th, 1995 in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, and she was
Saskatchewan,
Wampatu's First Nation.
Okay, well, here's how it's looking right now. I feel like I probably would want to bring it into Photoshop for any final tweaks. I'm also unsure about what I would want to do for any texture, because I could put a stone texture on the wall. I was gonna originally have kind of a pencil / chalky texture on things, so I had added this line here around the window, so it made it look a little chalky, although you can't really tell from far away. But when I hide it, the shape looks a bit wonky, so I'm like, if I want to keep it just crisp lines, I might have to redo the edge of the window. But if I want to add some chalkiness, I could, but I don't know, that's the way it's looking now. That's my artwork, inspired by Midna creeping from above. I just don't know if it's done. I just don't know if it's done. Well, I'm gonna get started on editing this vlog, so I'm ending it here. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Okay, and maybe just give a quick fingerprint wipe. I love the green background.